We're excited to welcome a friend. I'm honoured to be able to call her a friend, an award winner. Has been #1 Employee Engagement Award winner, Inspiring Workplace. Misty Johnson, Oratokhai, Esquire, the Chief Operating Officer of NCC. With over 15 years of experience in human resources management, labour and employment, organisational training and development, and operations, Misty has successfully led transformative initiatives across a wide range of industries, including healthcare, non-profit, publishing, and entertainment. A Juris Doctor graduate from the Catholic University of America, Misty is a multi-award winning professional recognised for her contributions to people-centred programmes and operational excellence, and is just a thoroughly wonderful human being. In today's presentation, The Power of Purpose, Creating Meaningful Workplaces, Misty will explore how organisations can cultivate purpose-driven cultures by aligning personal goals with organisational objectives. She will highlight how purpose extends beyond tasks, focusing on individual contributions that align with company values. By sharing insights and examples of successful companies, Misty will offer practical strategies to enhance employee experiences and overall organisational success. So let's welcome Misty to the stage.
Hello, and thank you for joining me today. I am excited to discuss findings, data, and important information in a discussion of the power of purpose, creating meaningful workplaces. According to Bain & Company, purposeful work has a clear purpose to the company in achieving its mission and reinforces a clear sense of purpose for each employee. Work itself needs to be interesting and meaningful and foster continuous learning. In an era where there is constant swinging of the pendulum, when it comes to who has the upper hand in the talent race, employees or employers, one thing is certain. Every company with a product or service, regardless of size, needs a workforce. And every individual who wants to be gainfully employed outside self-employment needs an employer. In the ever-changing landscape of work, filled with new terms of art every day, we have to ask whether purposeful work is yet another fad or a sustainable methodology for employers to utilize in their efforts to recruit and retain highly talented individuals. According to Gallup, the highest percentage of employee engagement was 36% in 2020. It fell to 33% in 2023, and in 2024 is 30%. These numbers are a reflection of disenchanted workers who are not connected to their work and do not have long-term loyalty to a single organization. The day of the 40-year employee has ended. According to SHRM, or the Society for Human Resource Management, employees in the United States cite there is less role clarity, they have less satisfaction with their organizations, and they are not as connected to their company's mission or purpose. As senior leaders remain concerned and they turn to their total compensation teams for solutioning, the tactics they have been using has been unsuccessful, including alternative work schedules, additional compensation, and other rewards. If all of that doesn't work, the question becomes, what will? As leaders continue to seek answers to unique methods of recognizing and rewarding employees, significant gains in retention have become temporary. I want everyone to think about what makes you tick at work. What gets you excited? What type of projects do you focus on and almost wish they did not have to end? I am certain it is not the boring task that force you to procrastinate until you can no longer put the project off. It is the same for everyone. Every individual wants to use their superpower, that thing that makes them excel, where they stand out, where their contribution makes a difference. We all want to put on our proverbial cape and be acknowledged for what we do well. The acknowledgement for some is private and others public. We all want to feel a sense of accomplishment for a job well done. We have to stop putting people into the boxes that get created based on their role and look at their talent, their skill set, that superpower, which makes them an asset to the organization. If organizations focus more on people's strengths than weaknesses, we will see more employees who are fully engaged in the work they do. Interestingly, according to a Harris poll, 20% of the employees who left jobs in 2020 are now returning to their prior roles or moving on to new companies. The why is that additional workplace flexibilities or other incentives have now become the norm and are easily replicable in a number of other companies. The winners in the talent battle are the companies who have looked beyond the superficial niceties and looked at intrinsic solutions to fill the void in employee satisfaction and engagement. The purpose-driven workplace gives employees a sense of true value, a place where their individual contributions impact change and add value to the companies they work for. It results in having increased engagement, higher productivity, and overall job satisfaction. Work is interesting to the employees. They are challenged and not bogged down in a myriad of tedious tasks, but rather performing work that they feel they are meant to do. These organizations have cultures of continuous learning, which provides opportunities for growth and development as well as career progression. A SHRM survey revealed that 41% of employees were more likely to stay interested in their work if it helped them fulfill a life purpose. 34% would contribute more than expected to their work if it achieved life goals. 52% of employees said they feel committed to a company if the work reflects their own personal values. 41% of people indicated they don't like stopping their work if they feel like it's what they were meant to do in life. 33% of employees surveyed said they were less likely to leave a company if they can do the work that they do best at their companies. And 24% said they're less likely to leave if they're doing good in the world. 58% of people are more likely to remain committed to a company if they see a direction that's connected to the mission and the values of the organization. Interestingly, the second highest value in the survey was that people wanted to have a meaningful job. And the highest value were intrinsic rewards, the opportunity to work autonomously and to be involved in the larger picture of their organization. It is critical that as we start aligning personal goals with the organizational goals, that leaders are taught how to develop clear and precise goals. Being a leader in a purposeful workplace is different than most other organizations. It requires thinking outside the four corners of standard workplace practices, policies, and procedures, which are of course all necessary but have their place. There must be an actual connection between the work that must get performed and the people who do it, remembering that the individuals closest to the work most likely have the best solutions based upon their experience in the day-to-day operations. Although some people have natural leadership skills, not everyone knows how to lead a workforce, how to engage people so that they will follow, and how to create new leaders. In order to lead in a purposeful workplace, managers must be taught how to create goals that are clear and concise, that also provide purpose. Often goals are ambiguous and employees do not understand them. That means not only do we need to draft those goals well, but we also need to take the time to explain them and provide opportunities for clarifying questions. Goals also need to be tied to outcomes. Drawing the line between the goal, its outcomes, and where an employee's work efforts help the outcome materialize illustrates the individual performer's importance in the big picture for the company. Helping that employee actually see their part in the bigger outcome and highlighting their role shapes a more clear understanding of their purpose and the purpose of the work that they do. The ability to allow for autonomy that creates a sense of empowerment that also lends to purpose and impact. Leading in a purposeful workplace requires thinking, people connectivity, and sometimes a little bit of creativity. By creating well-defined goals that tie to outcomes, employees are better able to understand not just their role, but also their purpose in the big picture of what the company needs to accomplish. Role clarity also supports team members understanding what each individual contributor is responsible for accomplishing, which lends to an empowered workforce. Empowerment and role clarity creates a nexus at the team and organizational level, which lends to an employee's purpose and their understanding of how their individual contribution impacts the organization's success. What these individuals do matters. They are individually important. They are no longer just a number or invisible participant, but a real, live contributor to the greater good, who are committed to positive outcomes for the organization. When we create a purpose-driven culture, it's important to determine how you can articulate to your workforce their higher purpose. What is the bigger picture beyond just their individual role, and what it means for people and the organizations that the company serves. It is critical to identify the right change agents. These are people with credibility who believe in the company's potential for growth, change, and impact. Change agents are not limited to department heads or people in traditional leadership roles. They're not necessarily those who only see the good, but they're those who have the capacity to assess objectively. Indoctrination into a culture that is purposeful is critical to think about how you recruit, who you recruit, and what your onboarding process includes. At the completion of a new hire orientation or an onboarding process, do your new hires understand the culture? Do they have a clear understanding of performance expectations? Do they know what their role means within their individual teams, their department, their division, and the company? It is important to develop a two-way communication plan. This keeps employees informed, but it also allows for the development of a variety of communication mediums where they can share contributions and solutions to problems, as well as conceptualizing new business ideas and creating a partnership. Creating a culture of continuous learning requires training and development, career ladders, and ongoing review and refinement of programs. During the course of our research, we found some real-life examples of organizations that have evolved to purpose-filled workplaces. Walmart is one of the first, focused on automation, such as utilizing robotic cleaners to minimize tedious tasks for in-store staff so they could focus on what they do best, customer service. USAA created a mock boot camp to help provide staff insight about preparing for service in the military. They wanted to create customer loyalty, and their staff have pride in the mission, serving those who serve our nation. And Shopify. Shopify built a 2-track individual contributor and manager learning system. It provided opportunities for employees to switch in between the tracks in order to get roles that are in alignment with both their interest and their skills for further career progression and continuous growth. What we've learned from Walmart, USAA, and Shopify is that they've identified rewards and recognition may help an organization recruit talent, but the necessity to understand the workforce and what motivates individuals is more important when you want to sustain a highly talented, loyal workforce. Creating a purposeful culture, like any other change, is not easy, but outcomes where people feel valued and understanding their place and purpose in the company is an invaluable investment that results in an engaged workforce and a partnership between employer and employee. Transformative organizations are willing to take risk and usually have visionary leaders who are not afraid of being first, different, and frankly enjoy leading the pack. They are willing to step into the deep end of the pool, not quite sure of what may happen, but are so curious about what could be that they take the chance anyway. These types of companies and leaders solve problems differently. They don't just keep doing what everyone else does. Instead, they take their purple crayon and create what's never existed. They redefine the norm, and even if they don't set the trend, they are willing to adapt to them and figure out how to respond appropriately when things change. That type of leadership is required when you want to take your company from fighting for talent to the talent wanting to join your team. Switching from the traditional workplace into one that is purposeful requires rethinking how things get done, identifying the gaps and reimagining new possibilities, creating space for failures, and the need to transition and pivot in another direction is also key. It requires understanding that change results in resistance and planning for how to get employees to understanding the WIFM, what's in it for me. Remaining connected to the workforce is a must because you will need the people to be willing to follow your lead. At this point, I would like to thank Matt Manners and the Inspiring Workplaces team for the opportunity to participate in the PeopleFirst Summit. I would also like to thank NCC, especially our President and CEO, Mr. Terrence King, and our communication and marketing team for their incredible support. And of course, I'd like to thank you, the audience, for joining me today. And I hope I have left you feeling inspired. Thank you.